Welcome to this channel. Today is Friday, the 28th of June 2024. The theme of this video is fructose might have the most harmful effects when it's an added sugar and you have large quantities. Fructose is a big topic. Fructose is a simple sugar or monosaccharide that is naturally found in fruits, vegetables, and some natural sweeteners. Fructose were sold as a sweetener or added to foods in the form of high fructose corn syrup, HFCS. According to a July 2012 meta-analysis in Diabetes Care, using fructose to sweeten beverages and foods has been promoted in the past to patients suffering from diabetes because it has a smaller effect on blood sugar compared to other sources of sugar or starch. Undeniably, in respect of blood sugar response, fructose does have benefits over sugar. The same analysis found that swapping fructose for other sugar sources in doses of 60 grams a day or more resulted in higher triglyceride levels. Glucose is your body's preferred source of energy. Most of the fructose ends up in the liver for converting into glucose and used as energy or converted to fat and stored as a future energy source. Ingestion of fructose chronically has contributed to multiple health consequences such as insulin resistance, obesity, liver disorders, and diabetes. Fructose metabolism starts with fructose phosphorylation by fructose kinase in the liver, and this process is not feedback regulated. Phosphorylation is a process in which a phosphate group is added to a molecule, such as a sugar or a protein. Why is fructose harmful to health? Fructose has been implicated as the main cause of symptoms in some patients with chronic diarrhea or other functional bowel disturbances. It also impairs the composition of your blood lipids, increase in blood levels of uric acid, leading to gout and high blood pressure. It also causes insulin resistance. In addition, excessive fructose consumption may be responsible in part for the increasing prevalence of obesity, diabetes mellitus, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Then what are the adverse effects of dietary fructose? In the past few decades, the consumption of fructose, primarily from high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, has increased considerably in the United States. Its intake may now exceed that of the other major caloric sweetener, sucrose. According to an April 2017 review in Nutrients, since the late 1970s, the use of fructose has increased by 30%. According to the Food and Drug Administration, HFCS is made by combining fructose with glucose from cornstarch. This sweetener is cheaper and sweeter than other forms of sugar and can be found in a number of foods and beverages, including soft drinks, juices, ice cream, cakes, cereal bars, and more. According to the November 2021 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, too much HFCS intake results in similar health issues as a diet high in sugar. In one study, 75 people were split into 3 groups and given 3 daily servings of sugar-sweetened drink, a HFCS sweetened drink, or a diet drink for 2 weeks. Those whose drinks were sweetened with sugar or HFCS had significant changes in liver fat and insulin resistance compared to the diet drink group. True, some nutritionists believe fructose is a safer form of sugar than sucrose, particularly for people with diabetes mellitus, because it does not adversely affect blood glucose regulation, at least in the short term. However, this short-sighted approach has ignored some far-reaching consequences. It's because fructose has potentially harmful effects on other aspects of metabolism. In particular, fructose is a potent reducing sugar that promotes the formation of toxic advanced glycation end products, showcasing its role to play in the aging process in the pathogenesis of the vascular, renal, and ocular complications of diabetes, and in the development of atherosclerosis. Although the long-term effects of fructose consumption have not been adequately studied in humans, the available evidence reveals that it may be more harmful than is generally recognized. It is important to note that the extent to which a person might be adversely affected by dietary fructose depends both on the amount consumed and on individual tolerance. With a few exceptions, the relatively small amounts of fructose that occur naturally in fruits and vegetables are unlikely to have deleterious effects. Is fructose worse than sugar? Overall, fructose might have the most harmful effects when it's an added sugar and you have large quantities. Then what are the symptoms of a fructose overload? Symptoms may include convulsions, excessive sleepiness, irritability, yellow skin or whites of the eyes, poor feeding and growth as a baby, failure to thrive, problems after eating fruits and other foods that contain fructose or sucrose, and vomiting. Which fruit is highest in fructose? 1 cup of dried figs contain 23 grams of fructose. 1 cup of dried apricots contains 16.4 grams of fructose. A medium-sized mango contains 16.2 grams of fructose. 1 cup of seedless green or red grapes contain 12.4 grams of fructose. Fruit is an excellent source of natural fructose and fiber. Most fruits have fructose in some amount. Here's a list of some high fructose fruit to know. Jackfruit, 15.2 gram per cup. Apple, 12.5 gram per piece. Grapes, 12.3 grams per cup. Sweeteners high in fructose. Agave syrup, dissolved swelled in cold water, making it perfect for an iced beverage. You can buy fructose off the shelf as a standalone sweetener, but it occurs naturally in these sugar substitutes. The first is honey. Honey is a sweetener that's almost equal parts glucose and fructose, with 8.6 grams of fructose in 1 tablespoon and 7.5 grams of glucose in the same amount. The macronutrients in honey include only carbohydrates, along with minute amounts of the mononutrients, copper, riboflavin, and manganese. According to Mayo Clinic, even though honey is a pure sugar, you can enjoy it along with a balanced meal high in protein to help manage your blood sugar levels if you have diabetes or prediabetes. The second is agave. Agave is a sugar alternative that comes from the agave plant. Unlike honey, agave does not come from animals, which makes it an attractive choice for people following a vegan diet. Agave is 85% fructose, or 3.4 grams in 1 tablespoon of syrup. The third is drinks high in fructose. Soft drinks doesn't contain any valuable nutrients and are high fructose foods to avoid. Some drinks have natural fructose, like juices made from 100% juice or coconut water, while others have HFCS added for extra sweetness. The fourth is soft drinks. Soft drinks are some of the highest sources of fructose in the form of high fructose corn syrup. You will get 21.6 grams of fructose in 1 12-ounce can of soft drink. According to the September 2019 study in JAMA internal medicine. One European study with over 500,000 people observed a higher death rates among people who drank 2 or more cans of soft drinks per day compared to those who drank less than 1 can. The fifth is grape juice. Wine's non-alcoholic cousin, grape juice, may not provide the buzz, but it does bring the sweetness, with 18.6 grams of fructose in 1 8-ounce glass. If it's antioxidants you are after, drink the dark stuff. Deep red and purple grapes have higher antioxidant levels than the white or light varieties per the Mayo Clinic. Which is healthier, sugar or fructose? Added fructose may have the most negative health effects, but experts agree that intake of all types of added sugar should be limited. Nevertheless, there's no need to limit the sugars found naturally in fruits and vegetables. Sucrose, glucose, and fructose are 3 common types of sugar that are absorbed differently with slightly different effects on the body. Whether they occur naturally in foods or are added to them also makes a big difference in how they affect your health. Sucrose, glucose, and fructose are 3 types of sugar that contain the same number of calories gram for gram. They are all found naturally in fruits, grains, vegetables, and dairy products, but are also added to many processed foods. They differ in their chemical structures, the way your body digests and metabolizes them, and how they affect your health. The first is sucrose. Sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose. Sucrose is the scientific name for table sugar. Sugars are categorized as monosaccharides or disaccharides. Disaccharides are made up of 2 linked monosaccharides and are broken back down into monosaccharides during digestion. Sucrose is a disaccharide consisting of 1 glucose molecule and 1 fructose molecule, or 50% glucose and 50% fructose. It's a naturally occurring carbohydrate found in many fruits, vegetables, and grains, but it's also added to many processed foods such as candy, ice cream, breakfast cereals, canned foods, soda, and other sweetened beverages. Table sugar and the sucrose found in processed foods are commonly extracted from sugarcane or sugar beets. Sucrose tastes less sweet than fructose alone, but sweeter than glucose alone. The second is glucose. Glucose is a simple sugar or monosaccharide. It's your body's preferred carb-based energy source. Monosaccharides are made up of 1 single unit of sugar and thus cannot be broken down into simpler compounds. They are the building blocks of carbohydrates. In foods, glucose is most commonly bound to another simple sugar to form either polysaccharide, starches, or disaccharides, such as sucrose and lactose. It's often added to processed foods in the form of dextrose, which is extracted from corn or wheat. Glucose is less sweet than both fructose and sucrose. The third is fructose. Fructose, or fruit sugar, is a monosaccharide like glucose. It's naturally found in fruit, honey, agave, and most root vegetables. Moreover, it's commonly added to processed foods as high fructose corn syrup, HFCS. Fructose is sourced from sugarcane, sugar beets, and corn. HFCS is made from cornstarch and contains more fructose than glucose compared with regular corn syrup. Of the 3 sugars, fructose has the sweetest taste but the least impact on your blood sugar. That is, sucrose is made up of the simple sugars glucose and fructose. Sucrose, glucose, and fructose are found naturally in many foods but are also added to processed products. They are digested and absorbed differently as well. Your body digests and absorbs monosaccharides and disaccharides differently. Since monosaccharides are already in their simplest form, they don't need to be broken down before your body can use them. They are absorbed directly into your bloodstream, primarily in your small intestine. On the other hand, your body must break down disaccharides like sucrose into simple sugars before absorbing them. Once the sugars are in their simplest form, they are metabolized differently. Glucose absorption and use. Glucose is absorbed directly across the lining of the small intestine into your bloodstream, which delivers it to your cells. It raises blood sugar more quickly than other sugars, which stimulates the release of insulin. Insulin is needed for glucose to enter your cells. Once inside your cells, glucose is either used immediately to create energy or turned into glycogen to be stored in your muscles or liver for future use. Your body tightly controls your blood sugar levels. When they get too low, glycogen is broken down into glucose and released into your blood to be used for energy. If glucose is unavailable, your liver can make this type of sugar from other fuel sources. Fructose absorption and use. Like glucose, fructose is absorbed directly into your bloodstream from the small intestine. It raises blood sugar levels more gradually than glucose and does not appear to immediately affect insulin levels. Even though fructose doesn't raise your blood sugar right away, it may have more long-term negative effects. Your liver has to convert fructose into glucose before your body can use it for energy. Eating large amounts of fructose on a high-calorie diet can raise blood triglyceride levels. Excessive fructose intake may also raise the risk of metabolic syndrome and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Sucrose absorption and use. Enzymes in your mouth partially break down sucrose into glucose and fructose. However, the majority of sugar digestion happens in the small intestine. The enzyme sucrase, which is made by the lining of your small intestine, split sucrose into glucose and fructose. The glucose and fructose are then absorbed into your bloodstream as described above. The presence of glucose increases the amount of fructose that is absorbed and also stimulates the release of insulin. Excessive absorption of fructose can promote the increased creation of fat stored in the liver. This means that eating fructose and glucose together may harm your health more than eating them separately. It may explain why added sugars, like high fructose corn syrup, are linked to various health issues. That is, glucose and fructose are absorbed directly into your bloodstream, while sucrose must be broken down first. Glucose is used for energy or stored as glycogen. Fructose is converted to glucose or stored as fat. Thank you for watching and listening. Goodbye.